All right, episode 4 is here. So let's get right into it. I mean, after the first 3 episodes, which was, as I said, for perfection in my book, I was like really looking forward to, probably like everybody else, where this is gonna go. I gotta say, I was like kind of disappointed with this one. Now mainly because of the first half. First half like is like so 1997. You can tell. Now the thing with it is like mostly focused on Roberto and Jubilee's character, and like they're trying to build that relationship between them, but it's the way they kind of handle it. There's a lesson to be learned. It's Jubilee's birthday, but the way they go about it, it's to deal with like gaming, AI. They go into a game, and but it's so 90s that I understand. Like if you were watching it then, this would be probably like a great episode to watch. But since then, we have like Matrix and Gamer, like movies like Gamer, Ready Player One, like stuff like that. That it's like Wreck-It Ralph, all these kind of things where you're kind of in a game or some kind of AI program or stuff like that. That this episode just felt like, at least the first half of it, and it just does not did not feel good. It's like there are boss battles in there, and they're just like no threat. They're just going through a story point one to the next. I feel like they just had to do something with Jubilee in this episode. They're like, what can we do before we get to the good stuff? And they just came up with something, and it's like it starts, it ends, and there's a message at the end, and like that's it. But then like this episode like turns around, and then it just focuses on Storm and her journey, where it kind of like teased at the end of the last episode, and that's where things get interesting. Well, all the emotion is right there, and it's like a cliffhanger, and obviously like it's a part one. So part two probably like next week they're gonna continue with that. That was where I was like I was in completely into it. I was locked down. It was like, all right, you have like lots of good imagery. You have a relationship, like a slow build, great dialogue. Something like from episode 1 to 3, you felt, and like you were very like threatening moments and stuff. You're like, where is this gonna go? And huge surprises, stuff like that. That kind of consists in that second half with Storm. Uh, and that was it. It was a great episode. I like Storm. I wonder how fast they're gonna deal with whatever she's going through, because it just recently happened in episode 3. So it's like it's one thing they're probably gonna deal with it. Okay, part 2, and that's it. That story is over, and Storm is Storm. Or they kind of drag it out a bit more, which I'm also okay with. So at least there's more story to it. Maybe harder way to do it, what's he dealing with, her powers and all, because it's like, oh, she's kind of lost those powers, and if she gets him like too quick, then it's like, okay, what was the point? So I hope they either make a journey out of it, or if they resolve it, something major comes off of it, and there's that thread, a story thread that they can build on in later episodes. There was like some really crazy imagery, and it was a bit confusing, but at least it's also like tied into the cliffhanger at the end. So part 2, I'm hoping kind of builds on that, because yeah, that was like, this is some like alien monster stuff going on. So it's weird, but that's what it felt good, because it felt different. It felt new, it felt fresh. Whereas like the Jubilee part of it just felt like just by the books, just had to go through it so they can just have a Jubilee story in there. So that's kind of my take on this episode. At least the first half, or you can say like a 5-ish, but at least like the Storm episode was like that good, or that part of it was that good that it at least turned into like a 8 or 9 out of 10, which was thankfully the case, because that's what I want. That kind of dark, gritty, dialogue driven, good imagery kind of stuff I want from this show. So yeah, that's kind of my take on this. What did you all think about this episode? Leave a comment below. Let me know. Other than that, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for all the support. I'll see you all soon. Ta-da. A-cab.